let's continue the conversation about building a deliberate, sustainable, well-structured, and creative practice routine for adult learners who want to achieve native fluency in the English language. Advanced learners are looking for strategies for themselves, and there are so many strategies that don't work, there are so many strategies that work, but sometimes you might get a feeling or you might get an impression that it will take a lifetime to find a strategy that works for you. I also had made another video earlier about the methods of polyglots and why they will not work, and they do not work for most people who learn a language, a foreign language, independently. The reasons are simple and obvious. Polyglots are obsessed with learning languages, and they spend all their free time learning about the language, reading in a foreign language, taking lessons, private classes. People who want to speak better in English and in one foreign language, they usually don't have the time and the dedication and the motivation to do so much for their English skills. However, native fluency is totally possible, and it's a very feasible task when it comes to adult learners. And many adult learners can achieve that. English is just another skill. It's not something out of this world, it's just another skill. And like any skill, it needs to be practiced. Let's talk about each word in this word combination: deliberate, sustainable, well-structured, and creative. Why do all these words matter? And why you should take care of your practice routine, not somebody else. Let me start with this message. You have to understand that all the courses that you see, all the marathons that you are offered to join, all the textbooks, all the community camps or retreats, or any other solutions that give you a set of instructions that tell you exactly what to do. Let's say you want to get in better shape and you're looking for a fitness instructor, or you're looking for a fitness program, for a workout program that you can do at home. You will be probably looking for a set of exercises that you can repeat day in, day out. And this is what is important to understand. All those programs work for beginners. And all those programs are intended for beginners. When I say beginners, I don't necessarily mean people with absolutely no experience or with little experience. I mean those people who are beginners when it comes to creating their own routines. And when I talk about creating a practice routine in English, a lot of people feel stuck and they feel like they don't understand for one simple reason. They can't compare it with any other recent experience. Maybe not even recent, but they don't have experience building a deliberate, sustainable, well-structured, and creative routine in any other sphere of life. It is a lot easier to apply what you have already done to English, to a new experience. If you have never wanted to improve anything in your life, or probably you wanted to improve something in your life, but you never created a sustainable and deliberate routine to get there, then it's really difficult to build and to continuously create a practice routine to improve your language skills. So if you are looking for a ready set of instructions, you have to understand that these solutions, be it educational courses, whatever, fitness programs, they are intended for beginners, for those people who cannot build their practice routine themselves. It's not good, it's not bad, it's just a fact. This is why when we talk about advanced language learners, advanced English students, this is why they get bored when somebody tells them, well, have you tried this textbook? Have you tried this course? They don't want to do this anymore. They have done so many courses, they have worked with so many teachers, they have done so many programs, they have done all that before. They need an absolutely new way to learn that will give them different results. When I talk about different results, I don't mean the ability to pass a test. I don't mean an IELTS score. a higher IELTS score. That's not the result for most people I'm talking about. They want to learn to feel the language. They want to improve their relationships. They want to learn to build and maintain better relationships in the English language. And they want to learn to communicate in English with more clarity, with more precision. They want to be understood, and they want to send people that message that they are understood. No textbook can teach you that. There's no textbook that will teach you that. This is why a lot of advanced learners, once they hit this upper intermediate or advanced threshold, they don't really know what to do next. I was there myself. I knew, it's not like I felt I had this feeling. I knew for a fact that I can do better. And I saw people around me who already were doing a lot better, and I was not there. So I knew it was possible. But when I tried to apply for a language course, for another language course, or when I tried to work, well, first of all, when I tried to work with a private teacher, or when I tried to apply for a course to an English school, to a language school, I would hear this in response: well, your English is already good enough. What do you want? You're good. Just go home, relax. And many years ago, I couldn't afford to work with a coach, with a communication coach. I knew that probably that was something I needed, but I couldn't afford that as a student. Absolutely not. And I didn't know anybody who could do it here in Russia, in the Russian-speaking environment. And when I lived abroad, and I used to live in Germany for 5 years, I couldn't afford to pay those coaches. And I was just not making enough money. I was a student. So coming back to advanced students, when advanced students look for solutions to continue improving their language skills, they get to this point of stuckness at some way or another. They find this stuckness plateau, and they don't know how to get off that plateau. So it's not the intermediate plateau that I'm talking about. I'm talking about this experience of not knowing what to do next. You know that you're supposed to move forward. You just don't know how, and you don't see anybody who can guide you. And you need an example, but you don't see a good one. You see language schools. You see offers from a lot of language schools. You see a lot of good textbooks that you could potentially study on your own, but it's not interesting to you anymore because your goal is now different. Your goal is not a certificate. Your goal is better communication skills. And my answer is to build a deliberate, sustainable, well-structured, and creative practice routine. Just like you would create a routine if you wanted to get in shape. If you wanted to get in shape, you would need to exercise on a regular basis. Your fitness routine, your workout routine needs to be deliberate. It means you need to know exactly what you're doing. Maybe one leg day, one upper body workout, one cardio workout a week, one stretching workout, right? Or maybe you choose Pilates, or you choose group fitness training and you commit to that. Maybe you choose dancing, but you need to choose something and commit to that. That is important. What becomes difficult, it is new. That's why it's difficult. It is unusual. That's why it's difficult for advanced learners, is that they have to create those options for themselves. It's not like there are options you can choose from. What do you want to choose? Ballet, stretching, kickboxing, group fitness training, Zumba. Just pick the right one. There is no right one. That is what makes it difficult. There is no right option, and the options are not readily available. It's not like you open a website and all the options are available. You actually have to discover those options for yourself, and you have to learn to understand which options are good for you and which options are not good for you. They just don't work for you. There are certain types of workouts that I will never do because they're not right for me. It doesn't mean that these are bad workouts, or it's just they're not for me. That's what makes it challenging, let's say. Let's talk about the word deliberate. There is a difference between a teacher choosing a set of exercises deliberately that you will do during the class, and you compiling your exercises together yourself. There's a big difference between somebody recommending a course that should work for you and you choosing very consciously the course that you want to take, you choosing the program that you want to take, and you choosing the teacher or instructor or coach that you want to work with. There's a big difference. You buy something because there is a 50% discount only today and only now, and you feel the pressure to purchase that because it's going to be late tomorrow, and you're going to be missing out on that opportunity. Or you consciously choose what you want to do. Maybe you have been following someone's work. Maybe their work resonates with you. Maybe you tried the exercises they suggested. Maybe you already saw the first results. Maybe the outcome of those exercises was better than you expected. And this is the best strategy. If you can try something, you can show to yourself that it actually works, and then you want more, then probably it's a good idea to sign up for a full course or to start an individual program with that coach. But you make a conscious decision to learn here with that person, or with those people, and from those people. This is what it means to create a deliberate practice routine. You do something deliberately every single day, or every other day. You also need to make a decision on the frequency of your workouts. If I want to do something for my English skills, and this is how many people go about this, let's just look at how many people go about this. What do you do for your English skills? Oh, I do a lot. I do everything. I speak English every day at work, and I've been learning English since high school. And, if there's a movie in English, I'll watch it. And if there is an interesting podcast, I'll listen to it. English is always in the background. They already speak good English, and I'm talking about people who already speak good English, but they want more. Because they know they can do more, and they know they're meant for more, and they don't see the reason to stop right now, right here. When English is already in the background all the time, you understand it, you listen to it, you have no problem with it, but you know that you're not improving. You are simply maintaining the level that you already have. When you want to deliberately improve your level, you need to start a deliberate practice routine. Let's say if you notice that you start every sentence with so or and, or you use a lot of filler words, like, or filler sounds. You want to start a deliberate practice routine where you listen to yourself very deliberately and you're on the lookout for those filler words. And every time you hear one, you stop and you make sure you don't repeat that filler word in the next sentence. This is deliberate. When you choose to commit to a practice routine, to working with a coach, to following a program, you choose to commit. In the first place, you want to commit, and that's deliberate. Because when you commit, you know exactly what you're committing to. You know what you will be doing, how often, how many times a week, at what time. And yes, that means you will need to dedicate some time in your day to that practice. When people say, well, I do something here and there, a little bit of this and a little bit of that, it's not a deliberate practice routine. It's something that already exists in their life, and they're fine with that. They're okay with that. We only need to introduce a practice routine when we want to improve something. Because why do we practice something? Think about it. Why do you need to practice your handstand? The reason I practice my handstand is because I want to get better at it. The reason I practice baking cookies is because I want to learn to bake better cookies. The reason I practice reading out loud in English is because I want to learn to read better. Usually we introduce some practice routine, or we practice something only when we want to improve a skill. Other than that, there is no real motivation to practice something. And people confuse doing something from time to time with deliberate practice. Deliberate practice is different. And the motivation should not be, oh, I paid for this course, that's why I need to take it. Oh, I can't let my coach down, so our meeting is scheduled for tomorrow, so I can't let them down. I need to be there. It's the wrong motivation. Motivation always comes from a burning desire to learn, a burning desire to know more. Only where there is personal interest, there is more knowledge. Because if nothing interests you on a personal level, you will never be motivated to learn anything about it. There must be personal interest to learn more. And when you become advanced, you should be very careful when you choose your coach and when you choose a program. If somebody tells you that you have to follow the program to the letter, they're limiting your burning desire to learn more. They're restricting your burning desire to learn more. Because basically they're telling you, well, that's the program for today. We're going to cover that, then cover this, and by the end of the course, you're going to learn this much. But again, they are telling you how much you're going to learn. It's a very limited set of things that they think you're going to learn. But what if by the middle of the course you learn that you actually changed your mind? Not like you want to stop, but you found a new perspective for yourself and you don't want to continue strictly with that program, but you want to go beyond that. As a make sure that your teacher, or if you are a teacher, well, I believe this is my philosophy, we should never limit students' imagination. We should never limit this information field for the student. We should let them explore the information field which is beyond our class, which is beyond my understanding of what they want as a teacher. Because even if you are a teacher, even if they trust you, and even if you are the authority for them, you still don't know everything that's going on inside their head, and you're not supposed to. You're supposed to help them discover their true path. You're supposed to help them discover their individual approach to learning and improving their skills. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to inspire, not to motivate them with words, but inspire them to become better human beings, to inspire them to explore, to inspire them to understand themselves and to seek their personal truth. That's what teachers are meant to do. Well, at least in my world. And that's what I believe. And I'm lucky to have had such teachers and to have them. So it needs to be deliberate if you are a learner, and it needs to be a conscious choice. When it's deliberate and when it's your choice, you will always have something to look forward to. And it's so important to build a routine where you know what you will be doing every day of the week or every other day of the week, and you have something to look forward to. That's the key to making your routine sustainable. What is sustainable? If we look at the language course or at a program that promises to take you to upper intermediate, advanced, or whatever, it's a finite program. You know when it begins, you know when it ends, and you're supposed to be a very disciplined learner. You have to show up at every class. You have to do every homework. You have to send every homework. So it's sustainable if you manage to discipline yourself, if you have enough self-discipline. And then you can go through this course or through this program with the best possible results. And once it ends, what happens once the program ends? People take the test and then they forget about the program and they never go back to it. They might have made a lot of notes. They might have taken a lot of notes and they never go back to them. Most people never go back to those notes, never go back to those exercises. It's a big fat mark. Done. And that's it. There is no reason to go back to it because it's done. It's completed. When I talk about a sustainable practice routine, I talk about lifelong learning and I talk about infinite learning process, infinite learning experience. Learning is infinite. It's an infinite journey because it's like healing. Once you think you have healed one aspect of yourself, like there's 100 more that you haven't seen all of a sudden, and you have to take care of those. It's like there are always layers, more and more layers. Once you think you have mastered that, you have mastered phrasal verbs, then you have to work on the shape of your vowels because suddenly somebody pointed this out. Or you need to work on clarity or brevity, or you need to learn to present yourself, or then you need to write a resume. To give you an example, with one of my students, we wrote a resume together. So she wrote it, and she took the course. and she sent her resume everywhere. She started getting a lot of invitations for a job interview, and she realized that she doesn't have the skill to go through a job interview, so she needs to practice, because she's been in the one and the same company for the last 10 years, and she never needed to talk about herself. She never needed to analyze her achievements and to present herself to other people who have such questions for her. Tell me about the time when you managed to convince the decision makers or win over the decision makers. She never thought about those questions. She needs to practice, and she needs to introduce a deliberate routine, practice routine, so that she can learn how to answer those questions. And the best way to learn is to learn from your mistakes. To see what you're doing right now, how you're doing it right now, why it doesn't work, and to fix that. When the routine is finite, let's say there is a textbook. You begin a textbook, by the end of the textbook, you know that the program is over. You start a program, in 3 months' time, you know that the program is over. You pay for a month of classes, by the end of the month, you know that you have taken all the classes that you paid for. It's a finite journey. And it's up to you. You have the power to make this decision. It's up to you if you want to continue. I'm not saying that these are useless experiences. They're very, very needed if you want to learn to work on your own. Whenever there is an option to work with somebody individually, I will always go for it. If I can choose individual mentorship or individual coaching program, I'll go for it, because that's the fastest way to learn. You work directly with a coach who gives you very personal feedback. And if you know how to act upon it very quickly, you can achieve very good results in a very short amount of time. But it's also important for me that I learn how I can apply those strategies on my own after my individual program is over. So if you are taking some program right now, if you're working with a private teacher, make sure that you learn, make sure that you pay attention. Again, another analogy is the gym. When people work with a personal trainer, they get used to the fact that their trainer knows how many times a week they need to work out. Their trainer knows what they're supposed to eat before and after the workout. Their trainer knows how many calories a day they're supposed to eat. And their trainer knows when they need to rest. As soon as their gym membership expires, or as soon as their workouts are over for some reason, any reason, they want to continue working out. They come to the gym and they don't know what to do. Because nobody tells them what to do. Nobody counts for them. Nobody reminds them of the next exercise. And they don't know what to do. And you probably know this as well. Many people just simply quit. They quit because they don't know how to continue. The only way to make it sustainable, to make your practice routine sustainable long-term, is to learn to derive joy from your practice routine. Only when you enjoy what you're doing, only when you have something to look forward to every week, it will be sustainable. So make sure you measure the level of joy at the end of every exercise. I talk about it a lot. Make sure you complete every exercise and make sure you ask yourself 2 questions. What's the level of joy on a scale from 1 to 10? What's the level of challenge, again, on a scale of 1 to 10? When you know your answers and when you keep track of your answers, you quickly learn what brings you the most joy. And you want to keep your numbers high. If your levels of joy are 5, 4, and less, it's not going to be a sustainable routine. You're going to quit. It's very easy to predict. And again, you are responsible for making it sustainable. No teacher, no mentor, no coach knows what brings you the most joy. The next point, well-structured. Again, deliberate is not enough. Deliberate is when you say, okay, I want to do something every Thursday, or I want to do something for my English skills every single day. Deliberate, and I want to spend 30 minutes. Or I want to do the free flow speaking exercise every day for 5 minutes. Or I want to make a journal entry at the end of every day. Deliberate, right? But well-structured is when you know what the structure of this 30-minute exercise is going to look like. Okay, you're going to make a journal entry. What are you going to write about? If you have a set of questions that you can answer, if you have a writing prompt for every day, or if you have a choice, a list of writing prompts to choose from, that's going to be way more well structured. If you have a list of exercises that are designed for the purpose of achieving native life fluency, like in our community of practice, all the exercises are designed for advanced learners who want to achieve more clarity, who want to achieve native life fluency in a foreign language. They are already designed in accordance with the methodology. All you need to do is just come to the community, ask yourself, how am I feeling today? What do I feel like doing today? And then choose an exercise that you feel like you want to do today. It needs to be well structured. And I create the exercises in such a way so that you know exactly what you're supposed to do, but there is a lot of room for being creative. If you work on your own, you need to create the structure. You need to think about creating your structure for yourself. I know that it's way more difficult because look, not everybody is a methodologist, not everybody is a teacher. You're not supposed to know how to compile a program together. However, if you have access to, or if you have books designed for native speakers, grammar books, books to improve writing skills, any books to improve communication skills for native speakers, and if you see exercises there, that might be your structure. Okay, I want to do something for my clarity today, and I want to do this exercise from this book. If you have taken my free course, 9 Essential Skills to Native Life Fluency, or any of my courses, you are already familiar with the exercises that you can do for yourself. If you know how to do the TAT karaoke exercise, all you need to do is you need to open the website. And then make a choice and then do the exercise. If you know how to do the summarizing exercise, all you need to do is to open the library, or if you don't have access to the library, open YouTube. It needs to be well structured. It means you need to know exactly how many steps it's going to take me to do the exercise and what the result of my work is going to be. You need to make sure that you know the structure of the exercise. You know what the focus is. What exactly are you practicing? Let's say when you read out loud, you can be practicing many things. You can be practicing your pronunciation or your enunciation, or you can be practicing thought chunking and pausing, or you may choose to pay attention to new vocabulary, or maybe you want to practice intonations if you read a passage with a lot of dialogues. All these are different exercises. You might be working with the same text, but your focus should be very precise. When your routine is well structured, you know what your focus is, meaning why you're doing this exercise, what exactly you're practicing. You know how long it's going to take you. Well, on average, if you have done it before, you know that on average, an exercise takes you about 45 minutes. So you know that 45 minutes later, you're going to be done. You know how many steps it's going to take you to complete an exercise, how many steps are there in between. So meaning you know exactly what you will do step after step. Again, if you don't know how to do this, watch my real-time video lessons. They are available in the community and for all the students of the listening course. You can do those exercises with me. They're video exercises in real time. You can follow me and learn the nuances and the details of working with content. Video content, audio content, and text. And you need to know what the result of your work should be. What will it mean for you to complete an exercise? How will you know that you have completed the exercise? Is it a tangible result? How will you know? What are your criteria? Most people don't know how to complete an exercise. They don't complete their exercises. They don't know the criteria for completion, and they start an exercise that in reality takes 3 days, and they hope to finish it in 30 minutes. So they have unrealistic expectations. Their structure is flawed from the very beginning. Of course, it's a lot easier when a teacher structures a lesson for you. But if you don't learn from your teacher, if you don't pay attention to why and how they do it, and if they never consult with you, if they never ask you or consider your needs and your desires, then probably they're just following their agenda, and you just follow whatever they bring to the lesson. Which will mean, again, that once your lessons or your classes are over, you will find yourself stuck again. You will find yourself not knowing what to do next. Watch another YouTube video, maybe, hoping that somebody will publish a lesson that will work for you and that will help you improve your English skills. And again, all the YouTube lessons you see out there are for beginners too. If somebody offers you the translation of a song, if somebody explains to you the royal order of adjectives, if somebody explains to you how to use articles or verbs, all these videos are for beginners. Advanced level students, they need to learn to create. Your practice routine needs to be creative. That's the end goal. Well, at least for me. You create favorable conditions for yourself to learn, the conditions in which you thrive, the conditions in which your learning journey brings the best results. You can create the conditions for yourself. Let's say if you are most productive in the morning, then you make sure that your mornings are free for those exercises. So you know your peak activity moments. You create such conditions. If you need a book, you buy the book. If you need to be around those people who inspire you, who motivate you, who make you feel like you can do more, surround yourself with those people. This is how you create conditions for yourself as well. If you feel like or if you know that you need to work with that person, find a way to work with that person. And apart from creating conditions in which you thrive and in which the learning progress happens fast, you also need to learn to create your own exercises so that whatever conditions you find yourself in, you will always find a way out. Let's say there's no internet. What do? Or some books are not available, some content is not available. What can you do using the tools that you have? You always have you always have yourself. What I practice right now is I practice creating different exercises based on different types of content, video, audio, and text. I categorize the exercises depending on my focus. If my focus is improving my listening skills, then I do this set of exercises. If my focus is improving my enunciation, then I do this set of exercises. If my focus is to speak with more clarity or to improve or enrich my vocabulary, then I do a completely different set of exercises. And every time I look at a piece of content, I don't really know what I'm going to do with this. I teach myself to go with the flow and to feel the language and to feel what I need right now. Because all the exercises, why is it so important to create exercises for yourself? First of all, you never know what you're going to discover. And another person might bring an interesting exercise, but this exercise that you're going to do together or yourself is the reflection of what they have discovered. It's the product of their research. I teach the exploratory practice approach to learning a language. It's a self-study exploratory practice approach. And it's important to see where you get if you start doing your research, and how far do you get, and how far do you go, and in what direction do you even choose to go if you choose to do your own research, and if you choose to commit to creating your own reality. Once you stop waiting for people to teach you, and once you commit to learning from people doesn't always mean you need to be literally taking classes and paying for those classes. You can learn from children just by looking at children. You can learn from overhearing a conversation between two people. They might not even know that you're learning anything from them. They don't need to know that you're learning anything from them. But if you know how to learn, you will always learn. Creating exercises for yourself is important when you want to quickly move to the next level and to get unstuck. Let me give you an example. Maybe you used to give really impressive presentations in the English language, and then your presentation skills just plummeted very rapidly. Maybe you were on maternity leave and you haven't practiced for a year or two, maybe you got so comfortable with Zoom meetings that an in-person meeting makes you feel nervous now. And you don't really know what to wear, how to talk to people, and it all feels awkward, new, and unusual again. What do you need to do? Or what will you want to do? If I find myself in this situation where I give feedback to myself that something is not right, I used to be able to do that, and now I am not as good as I used to be, or it's a completely new skill set and I have no idea how to do that. I don't have that skill set. I need to learn. I need to teach myself very quickly. What do I need? I need a plan. I need to create a plan for myself. What skills I'm going to learn, how I'm going to learn them, and what exercises I will be doing to learn those skills or to revive those skills if I already used to have them in the past. And there is never a ready set of exercises for each lifetime situation, for each life situation. Never. Your situation is always going to be unique, and you will never find a set of exercises for your specific situation in any textbook. No teacher in the world will be able to give you the right set of instructions. And it's very valuable to me, it's priceless to me, when I can take a moment to grab a piece of paper and a pen, write down my emotions, how I feel about not being able to do that, or not knowing how to do that, or not having that skill, identifying what skills I'm lacking, creating a plan for myself, organizing my routine so that I have room in my day for those exercises, asking myself, how am I going to measure my progress? What metric system am I going to use? Identifying key milestones that I am supposed to achieve as I go through my learning process, and identifying what the desired outcome is. The result of my work might look different from what I can see right now, because if I have never had the skill before, I don't even know what it feels like to have a skill and what the desired outcome might look like. However, if I already had the skill, if I used to be a very good presenter, I probably know how it feels to be a very good and confident presenter. So I can see the desired outcome. I know what it feels like. And I know very clearly where I'm going. And I will know very well if I have gotten there and when I have gotten there. And I can do this myself. I can do this myself. And if my plan includes hiring a coach or taking a program, I'll do that, no problem. But I am very confident that I know what to do. And I can create my learning plan myself. And I can execute it myself. And I will create the exercises and the plan for myself. And that's very powerful to me. Because this is how you become a daring learner. Not just a diligent student who follows a program. And there's nothing bad about following a program, because up to a certain level you're supposed to understand how the language works and of course learn everything that you need to learn. However, I'm talking to all the advanced level students who know that there is so much more out there. They just don't know how to get it and how to get there. And my answer is create a deliberate, sustainable, well-structured, and creative practice routine. Remember that you have the power to create. Create the conditions that work for you. Create your own exercises. Create your workout routine. Create your plan. And be in your power to create. Because when you are in your power, you will surround yourself with people who want to see you in your power. And what you will create will benefit not just yourself, not just you, but everybody around you. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next videos.